Janelle, Angie, and Karen. Hey, Jara. To go on and put your cameras on for us so we could see your lovely faces. This is going to be a very interactive class today. If any of you have gotten to know anything about me, you know I love engagement. I love the dialogue. And so I'm going to ask for a lot of that today, which means that I need to make sure that you all are participating. So I'm excited for this class because we're going to talk about the world of travel and tourism. I know over the past couple weeks, you guys have talked about hotel operations and restaurant management. So tell me, just from the past week or so, what have you learned so far? What have you learned? What have you taken away from your learning experience so far for the hospitality and travel component? Carissa. And hopefully we'll get some more scholars on the line. It looks like we have a very small class today. So um, we'll send out a quick message. Or Missy, if you wouldn't mind just sending out a quick message to the group chat in WhatsApp, just to let everyone know that we are on.
Okay.
I believe we're recording now. All right. So tell
Angie
me, what
said
did
Angie responded in chat to you.
Okay, awesome. Let's see what we have. I want you guys to come off mute too. I love the chat, but I love to hear your voices even more. All right. And sometimes I'm not manning the chat because I'm looking to hear from you. So I see we got some driving going on this past weekend. We have PSAT prep. That's awesome. So congratulations to you all. Hopefully some of you guys just got to rest, right? So today we're going to be talking about travel and tourism, customer service, right? We're going to be talking about traveling, leisurely, traveling for business, knowing the differences and understanding the benefits, the pros and the cons of traveling, right? And the industry in and of itself. So, what did you learn from the last two classes? So we could kind of do like a recap before we move forward. You can either unmute yourself or I can choose you.
Can
So
I go?
yes, go ahead. Just
She has her
unmute.
hand
That
up.
you don't have to raise your hand. Just come off mute.
Okay. I remember learning about all the different jobs that come with being in the hotel and traveling business, like being a front desk receptionist, or
Hmm.
even being just a house cleaner, being a manager, being the chef, the chef.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And understanding the importances of every single role, right?
Hmm.
Everybody has a role to play. It doesn't matter whether you're a housekeeper or whether you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company in the hospitality industry. The hospitality industry, in and of itself, is about $11 billion industry. Um, and it's almost like a niche to a lot of people. Like people don't really, especially our youth, right? Which is why we have this class, because a lot of our young people don't really understand the benefits and the great opportunities that travel and tourism and hospitality have to offer. So great, Michaela. Jara, what did you learn from the past week or so?
I learned how the time it takes and effort that you need to manage a business, and like you have to learn that you can't really rush it, but you have to take your time and develop like the business.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I like that. You have to take your time and develop the business, right? When you take your time and you're patient, it's likely that you'll get it right before you get it wrong. And even if you get it wrong, practice makes perfect. So great job. Julian, what did you learn?
What I learn is have patience with your customers and to
Mm.
always ask questions and to always know what you're talking about. Like
Yeah, I love that. To know what you're talking about. That's great. I love that. Yeah, all right. So Ying Ying, what did you learn?
I learned about the different parts of a hotel. Like maintenance is one of the
Hmm.
biggest part of a hotel, like to operate, and
Hmm.
like the front desk job and behind the scenes, like the marketing positions of
Yeah.
the hotels.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. So it looks like you guys took away a good chunk of some great information, and so I just want to make sure. All right, so we have some things in the chat. We got Janelle in the chat. Janelle, is there anything wrong with your camera? Angie and Karen, are you
Yeah.
guys?
I put in there, they have a pass. Karen and Janelle, they'll let me know what's going on with their cameras.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. And then Angie, same.
No, I didn't hear anything from Angie yet.
Okay, Angie, I see you're in the chat, but I don't see your face. Banana, yes. I'm sorry. I have my son asking me for a banana. All right, awesome. So let's get rolling. So today we're going to be talking about the world of travel and tourism. I'm going to share my screen. And
Angie
we're going to get,
responded to you. She's trying to turn it on. She's logging through her computer, logging on.
okay, excellent. Excellent. All right, so we're going to get started. Let me know if you can see my screen. And I'm also actually, let me stop sharing really quickly because I need to make sure that I'm also sharing my sound. We're going to need that later on. And so let's make sure we're sharing. Okay, awesome. Make sure I'm sharing my sound. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. Okay, here we go. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the world of travel and tourism, right? We're going to be going into getting sort of into the weeds of what travel and tourism is, and how it's beneficial, not only to you as a traveler, right? Because you're going to learn that traveling is probably one of the most, it could be one of the most adventurous, one of the most fulfilling things you'll ever do in life, right? We travel every day, right? I believe it was Julian. I heard him saying how he was traveling on the train. Julian, are you East Coast? Are you
No, I live
Midwest?
in the South. I live in Dallas.
Oh, you live in Texas. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Julian talked about how he traveled on the train to get from one destination to the other. And that's essentially what that travel and tourism is all about. Whether you're on train, plane, automobile, traveling is really just an industry that is, to me, I think second to none, or, encompasses a lot of a lot within the industry, that is really second to none. And so we're going to talk about that. So these are some of the key takeaways, um, and objectives for this class. So I'm going to ask Julian if you can read the first bullet, Janelle if you can read the second, Jara if you could read the third, Angie fourth, and then
Can
Ying
you
Ying, the
can
last
you
bullet.
switch out Janelle? Because she's sick, but she's still participating.
Okay, yeah. So Nadia, if you could read, I forget which one I told Janelle to read, the fourth bullet. And then Ying Ying, if you could close us out on the fifth bullet.
Understand the key concepts of and careers in the travel and tourism industry.
Components, yep. All right, next bullet. What did I call for the next bullet? Was that J-Ra? Okay. All right, J-Ra, go on and read the next bullet for me, please.
Analyze the impact of tourism on local economies, cultures, and environments.
Excellent. Bullet number 3.
I was bullet number 3.
Okay, so Michaela, do me a favor, read bullet number 3 for me.
Learn effective customer service techniques in the context of travel and tourism.
Excellent.
Apply
All right,
critical thinking and problem-solving skills to real-world travel scenarios.
awesome. And Ying Ying, last but not least.
Develop skills in exploring different destinations, understanding airport codes, and planning travel itineraries.
Absolutely. Itineraries. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. So those are our objectives for this evening. Okay. So let's go on and get started. So what is travel and tourism? Who wants to read that for me? Somebody who hasn't read. Let's see. Ashley, what is travel and tourism? TNT stands for travel and tourism.
TNT refers to the activity of people traveling to and staying in places outside of their usual environment for leisure, business, or other purposes. It encompasses a wide range of activities, service, and industries associated with travel, such as transportation, accommodation, attractions, and hospitality.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions about the definition for travel and tourism? So it's essentially places or activities and places people go for fun, for leisure, for business, outside of or within the within the states, outside of the states, within the local confines of where they live. Outside of that, right, you could go right to the next town over and you're traveling. You're touring, especially if you've never been someplace, right? So it's essentially and it encompasses services, right? We talked about that during the last two classes, right? The customer service aspect, and transportation, right? We just talked about that. Julian mentioned a portion or component of transportation, right? Railways, the train, the attractions, right? When you go to travel, what is it that you're looking to do? So Ashley, where do you go when you travel? What is one of the things you like to do when you travel?
Honestly, I don't really mind what I do. I do like attractions such as like water parks or like pools
Uh-huh,
and things like that. But
uh-huh,
like if it's a place I've never visited, I like doing like for example in like Japan, I'd like to do like highlights of like maybe Tokyo or something like that.
mhm. Okay, keep that in mind, Ashley. Don't forget what you just said, okay? All
Okay.
right. So, yeah, like what's one of the most known attractions in the world, but here in the States? So we have what we call domestic travel and we have global travel or international travel, right? International is when you're going overseas, overseas meaning you're going to a different country outside of the United States, right? But within the United States, what is one of the most visited attractions in the world? And there's two. There's one on the East Coast and there's one
Cedar
on the
Point,
West Coast.
You would do that.
Disney.
Disney. Who said it? Brr, brr, brr. Was that Joey? No, who's that? Who said that?
Yeah, that was me.
Joey. Yes, Joey is right. Disney World. And what is it called in California? Does anyone know?
Universal.
No. Universal is in Disney World, which is where? Where's Disney World?
Is it Disneyland?
Yes, good. Yes, good. Thank you, Janelle. And Angie, I believe that was who Janelle said it in the chat, and then Angie said it, unmuted herself and said it. So great. So this is what travel and tourism is all about. Okay. So United Nations World Tourism Organization is a specialized agency that helps to promote sustainable and responsible, universal, accessible travel and tourism. Right. So they're known for helping to sort of regulate and just ensure that people who are traveling understand the cultures, understand the ways of the lands they're traveling to, or the countries that they're traveling to, the places that they're traveling to. So it's a specialized agency for tourism. So don't forget that, okay? And when I say that, I mean it. You might see that again. So these are some of the components of travel and tourism. And if I'm going too fast, there's a lot of information. This is a very robust class, so I don't want to go too fast. Or if it seems like I'm going too fast, please let me know and I'll pump the brakes and slow down a little bit. But I do want to make sure that we get into it because there's a component of hands-on group activity involved in this as well, as some friendly competition. All right, so components of travel and tourism. I need somebody to read starting from the top and just shoot them out, spit them out. What we got? Components of travel and tourism.
Travel media
I
and
can read.
publications.
We got transportation. Yep. Travel media and publications. What else?
Accommodation.
Absolutely. Accommodations. What else?
Travel agencies.
Travel agencies. What else?
Tour operators.
Tour operators. Yes. What else?
Travel technology?
Yep. Travel technology. What else?
Attractions and activities.
Attractions and activities. And one of probably the most important things that you'll get to know when it comes to traveling is making sure that you insure yourself, that you're covered when you travel. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. So that is travel insurance. Okay. All right. So these are the types of tourism. We have leisure. What do you think leisure means? When we talk about leisure tourism or leisure travel, what does that mean? Nadia. Go ahead, Michaela. I'm sorry. I didn't notice you had your mic
No, I'm
off.
sorry. I should have raised my hand. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Leisure, like, just to do it like for your own personal like self, like just if you want to go somewhere like just because you want to.
Yeah. Somebody said in the chat for fun, right? Leisure is for fun. And we just talked about going to Walt Disney World or land, whatever your preference, right? What about business? So what would be the difference between leisure and business? Joey. Are you there, Joey?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna move. Hi. So what would be considered business travel?
Um, as in like a corporation.
As in whatever you give me as a definition or description of that. When you think of business travel, what does that generally entail?
Like, I don't know, like a hotel, like you traveling to go work, basically, is what I
Yeah,
got.
exactly. Yeah, you're traveling for business. You're traveling for work. You're traveling for the hustle, right? So I mean, there's might be some leisure in there, right? All work and no play makes a dull person. So, right, there might be some leisure in there. Maybe you might have a day where, you're off or whatever, and you get to travel and see some sights in the area that you're in. I traveled a lot this year. I traveled statewide. I traveled international this year. And one of the things, that I always try to incorporate, even if I'm, there for a short period of time, is to try to give myself an opportunity to see some of where I'm staying, right? I've gone as far as to Cyprus. If anyone has ever heard of Cyprus, you might have seen me mention it in the chat. Cyprus is a country that's sort of cruxed in between Turkey and Italy, or Greece, right? And it is a beautiful country. It is just as small as probably my pinky. You probably, you've never heard of it before, but it's also a biblical country. And it is well known for a lot. There's like a lot of like dishes that come from there, like some well-known dishes and stuff. So, and I went there for business, but during my stay, I was there for a week with my military colleagues to teach a course, and I actually got to travel the seaside. I got to see a lot of the historical monuments. So it was a really great opportunity for me. While it was business, I also got some leisure time in that as well. What about adventure? What's type of adventure, or what type of travel would adventure be?
I feel like
As we were
adventure.
talking about the Disney World, just
Uh-huh.
people go to see places and stuff for fun.
Okay, that's fun, but what else?
I feel like adventure would be people that like purposely go up like mountains or like they
Uh-huh.
find like those kinds of like dangerous activities, like people that do cave diving or like
Mhm.
those kinds of people. Like,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. So like when you travel to Mount Everest, right? And you climb, the Mount of Everest. That is a adventurous type of travel, right? When you're going to Kilimanjaro, right? Those that I believe Kilimanjaro is in Africa, right? Those are places that you go and you travel, and you see the Great Wall of China, right? Those are places that, oh my goodness, like these are adventurous travel. So I want you to start thinking in these mindsets. Am I going, when I travel, am I going for leisure? Am I going for business? Am I going for adventure? Do I want to incorporate the three? You can absolutely do that. You can go on a business trip and take a leisure trip during the day and then go, another day. We went to Costa Rica this summer for our internship. We took 12 students for 14 days. I believe it was 12. Was it 10? I think it was 10, right, Missy? 10 students, right? There was about 21 of us total. We went to Costa Rica, right? Costa Rica in and of itself for us as adults, right, Missy, was business, I'd say. It might have been leisure more so, or adventurous for the students, but it was business for us, right? We're taking care of everybody's kids, and but we also came there to work, right? We partnered with a university in Kati, which is in like sort of the tropical area, or the tropical centrally located area of
The
Costa
rainforest.
Rica. Rainforest. There you go. We literally were in the middle of the rainforest, right? And our students got to grow crops, and they got to, oh man, it was so much they got to do. They got to visit the Southwest Purpose for Purpose facility, where Southwest, and which is an airline, they actually partnered with Kati University to give them pieces of their seating. So the leather parts of their chairs, their seating, whatever they don't use, they give those scraps to Kati University, and then Purpose for Purpose, which is the nonprofit organization, they actually turn those scraps into apparel, into like, you know, sporting goods, purses, you name it, like they have it. So those are the types of things that, you know, when you travel, you'll get to explore on the leisure level, you know, business level and adventurous level. So just FYI for anyone who's interested in traveling with us and joining the journey. All right, so industry careers and opportunities. Here we are. Opportunities in travel and tourism. And you guys may have heard of these, right? Just in some of the classes that you've gone through so far with Chef Dre and with Miss Latanya. So we have event planner. What is an event planner? What do you think an event planner is? Just briefly.
I think it's something like an organized graph that helps you organize like your events, what you have to do, something like
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jira, right? Yes, that's Jira. All right. What about hospitality management? We won't go through all of these, but these are some of the opportunities in the travel and tourism industry that you may want to look into. Not only is it a job, but you know what they say, and I think I heard Chef Dre say it earlier, you know, if you love what you do, it's never considered work. It's never considered a job. And I'll tell you one thing about the travel and tourism industry. I am not directly sort of involved in any of these capacities, but I kind of am. From where S.O.A.R stands and our perspective, right? We provide opportunities for our students and for even our chaperones to be able to travel abroad and to be able to see things from a culturally different, from a different perspective culturally. Um, International waters, right? You're treading international waters. You've never even left your backyard, let alone, we've had students never even left their city, let alone their country, right? So these are amazing opportunities. So what about hospitality management? What do you think of when you think of hospitality management?
I feel like hospitality management is someone who's like customer service, like in a way, who's
Mhm.
like always available to help somebody else.
Yeah, so some of you guys mentioned some of the roles of hospitality and management. So you have the upper level management. So Miss Latanya is actually a sort of a prime example of hospitality management. She works in a hotel, but she runs the hotel. She is the general manager for the, I believe it's the Embassy Suites in Louisville, Kentucky. I went to high school with her. She's older than me. She went along with myself, Chef Dre. We all went to high school together. I was younger than the two of them, but we all went through the same travel and tourism magnet program. And so from that came all of these opportunities for us to be able to then now pour back into you guys, right? So this is a whole full circle moment for us. So yes, what about, let's see, airline staff? What would be considered airline staff? Or who would be considered airline staff? What type of roles?
the people who like manage the air, like the your flight you're taking.
Yep. What are they called? When you see them on the
Pilots.
plane? Yes, pilots. And I love pilots. Don't you love pilots? They get us to our destination safely. You gotta love the pilots. I also love the pilots because I work directly with them. Being in the Air Force 21 years, you guys, I just celebrated my 21-year anniversary on Sunday. But I also work with pilots, and they work for all different types of airlines. And they're phenomenal, phenomenal group of people. So yeah, you have your pilots, you have your steward, what we used to call stewardess, but they're called, oh, I'm drawing a blank right now. What are they called, Missy? Not stewardess, but uh,
Flight attendants.
flight attendants. There you go. They're called flight attendants. And then we have culinary. Now, tell me what you know about culinary. What do you know about culinary? What does that include or consist of? What type of roles?
The
And
food we're
Chef
gonna eat.
Dre. Yeah, Chef Dre. I'm sorry, I was coughing. I don't know if you heard it. Chef Dre.
No.
Anybody heard that? Anything? Yeah. Culinary? Anything? Did anybody hear me? Chef Dre? Yes. What is he? What is his role in the industry? One of his many roles in the industry?
Chef.
He is a chef. Yes. So culinary encompasses a wide range of roles and responsibilities, but a chef is certainly one of those roles and responsibilities. Okay, so did you know when we're talking about customer service, or excuse me, when we're talking about travel and tourism, there are both positive and negative impacts that travel and tourism can have on both the local and international economies, the cultures, and the environment. Okay, so we're going to listen to a quick or read and listen to a quick video. And I need you all to pay attention because you're going to see this again. So please, please, please pay attention to this video because we're going to talk about this. And I'm going to ask you some questions midway through the video to make sure that we're gauging and on the same page. Okay. So this is the economic impact at a glance when it comes to travel and tourism. So both the positive and negative aspects of travel and tourism. Now, here's the test. I want to make sure you guys can hear. If you can, just give me a thumbs up. Oops, wait a second. I don't know, where's my video? I was all excited about my video and it didn't even play. Give me a second. Let me figure out why it's not playing. One second, let me go back into. Okay, here we go. I think this is it. All right, can you all see the screen or no?
Yes.
You can see it, the YouTube screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, I need to know if you can hear it. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Turn up a little bit. Yes.
All right.
You can hear it.
Okay. You're taking notes and paying attention. All right. So we just talked about, or rather, the slide, this video here just discussed or covered some of the positive aspects. A lot of great things can come out of travel and tourism, right? What are some of the positive impacts of travel and tourism? Before we move on.
Expose people to different cultures.
Uh-huh. Yeah, expose.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It allows people to like understand each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
Explore
cultural
different
sensitivity.
traditions and mindsets.
Absolutely. Explore different traditions and mindsets, right? I see Joey said protects nature. I love it. It can be used as a tool for integration and foster empathy. I love that. Great job. Yes. All right. So we know that there are many positive aspects, right? And impacts that travel and tourism can have. Let's see some of the negative. All right. All right. So what do we get from the negative aspect? What do we get? I'm going to just stop sharing really quickly so I can close that out and reshare my screen. Okay, so what did we get from that?
Some of the things we got.
Getting so expensive to live there, and it's overcrowded and too much noise.
Yeah. Yeah. What else?
It can force people out of their own homes because of how expensive it gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what do you think in terms of economic growth? What do you think? How does that impact the economic sort of development of the locals?
I think it impacts bad on the people that live there
Mm-hmm.
because things getting too expensive for travelers,
Yeah.
tourists.
Yeah. And so not only that, but when you go to these different countries, you'd be surprised at how little the customer service or the workers actually receive, right? They're very low wages. The work is very hard, right? Oftentimes very demanding, right? And so that could really hinder the quality of life of the locals there. While we're living it up and we're enjoying our, virgin pina coladas on the beach somewhere, these people are just really trying to make it, right? So a positive attribute of tourism, it creates jobs and brings in money. A negative one, it creates crowds. Nadia, you said that, pollution and damage to nature. All right. Anybody have any questions so far about the positive and the negative attributes of tourism? How we doing so far? You guys good? Yes, can we keep going or you want to stop for a little bit? All right, let's keep going. Okay, so customer service. We talked about this, right? I know you all talked about it in your classes. It all interrelates. They all sort of they're commingled, right? So everything that is hospitality and travel, hospitality in and of itself, that word really is all about customer service and how you make someone feel, how you are made to feel, right? So it's providing excellent customer service and travel, and it's crucial for ensuring the customer satisfaction and building a positive reputation for your business. When I say you guys want to remember this, I guarantee you're going to thank me later. So make sure you're remembering and taking notes. All right. So these are some of the effective customer service techniques you should employ and look after. What is active listening? It's really what you should be doing right now. But what is active listening? Give me one word or give a brief definition of what you think active listening is and why. Well, just give me what you think active listening is as it pertains to customer service.
I think active listening is not only when you listen, but also when you listen and do something people say.
Yes, I love it. I love it. What about prompt responsiveness? I'm going to skip over some of these because for the sake of time, but what about prompt responsiveness? So active listening, there has to be a follow through, right? I can't just listen and not follow through, right, Nadia? So what does that mean then? Prompt responsiveness. I'm actively listening, and now what do I do? Let's see.
You take
Who?
responsibility for your words and
Yeah,
actions.
yeah, absolutely. What? But what? Give me an example, Ashley, of prompt responsiveness.
Kind of like when you kind of do things like in the moment, I would say
Mm-hmm.
like as soon as like someone requests something, you kind of just go out of your way to like right away you go and do it for them.
Yeah, yeah. Helena, you have your hand up.
I would say an example is, for example, like let's say your front desk at a hotel and someone's room card doesn't work, like getting
Mm-hmm.
somebody to immediately help them and get them a new room card so that they can access their room.
Absolutely. What about problem solving skills? And you're going to learn this. Actually, this all sort of it sort of correlates and interrelates with what you're learning in the business and entrepreneurship too, because these are some of the things that are not just subject to the hospitality and travel industry. This is cross functional, right? You have to be able to utilize these techniques everywhere you go and in every aspect. These are life skills, right? So when you talk about problem solving skills, what does that mean? Jayra.
What was the question again?
Problem solving skills. When you think of problem solving skills, what type of skill does that entail? Like, what does that mean?
I believe like it means you're good at solving problems or not really good, but it comes easier to you than some other people.
Okay. All right. Critical thinking. Yes, I like that. And what is critical thinking? So I like that. Listening to comprehend and understand, not just to react. I love that. Is that for active listening, Janelle? I'm assuming that is. I'm just seeing the chat. Sorry about that. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Going the extra mile. What is that? What does that mean? Going the extra mile, Julian.
Trying hard, like trying harder than what's expected.
Yes, I love it. Doing more than what's required. I love that. Thank you, Joey. And continuous feedback, right? Why is it important to get feedback? We do it all the time with you guys. You all are filling out the surveys weekly or bi-weekly or however often you're doing it. But why is that important for us? Why is that important for the industry to receive that continuous feedback, to receive those responses from you as a, let's say, a patron? Why is that important? Carissa.
It led to a way for like improvement to let us know these stuff we have to improve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about you, Ying Ying? What do you think?
So like Carissa, it's you could get like you could improve on what you messed up on.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you could do a lot better.
Yeah, so that's one way to think of it. Or maybe you're doing it right, right? And maybe it's constructive feedback that someone's giving you, right? So it's not always that you're doing something wrong. Maybe it could just be constructive feedback or a recommendation of doing it differently. Not necessarily that you're doing it wrong, but yes, absolutely. So we need that feedback. We need that response, and that looping of the feedback, that continuous looping of the feedback, so that we understand how it is, or excuse me, what we need to do to ensure that the experience is second to none, right? All right. Great job, everybody. All right. So what does it mean to go the extra mile? We talked about that, doing more than what's expected to help your guests, or really to help anybody, right? In life. What do you do to go the extra mile every day? Right? Do you go the extra mile by helping somebody across the street, a little old lady across the street, or you know what I mean? Like, do you help with homework? Are you a mentor? What do you do in your community? Right? So again, it's not just subject to hospitality and travel, but what do you do in life where you can go the extra mile and really help somebody in a way that is impactful? What does S.O.A.R do to go the extra mile? Right? We offer these programs for free for you, so you don't have to pay out of pocket, because these types of classes are very expensive, by the way, to learn the information and to get what you're getting out of it. We do it for you out of the love of our hearts, right? And because we want to give back to our communities. So that's what we do to go the extra mile. What are you doing to go the extra mile? And that's just something to think about. Food for thought. Okay. All right. So qualities of great customer service: being friendly, helpful, professional. Okay. Remember those. Being friendly. Why is it important to be friendly? And, just think about those things. Why is it important to be helpful? Why is it important to be professional? It's all about the experience, right? All right. And here we are at our break already. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. I know it says 10 minutes, but we have a couple of activities that I want to get through with you guys. So we're going to do 5 minutes. So right now it is 7:18. So we're gonna. Oh, okay. Looks like we're admitting somebody else in. So we'll be back at 7:23. I think that's right. Yeah, 89, yeah, I'm good at math. All right, so break time. Come back at 7:23, 6:23 Central Standard Time, 7:23 Eastern. Okay, and we'll move it right along.
S.O.A.R is like our thing, kind of like I don't know, like I don't know what happened, but
Mhm.
like the key jammed and it broke out. So we had to leave our Airbnb and at like 12 p.m. at night, we had to go find another hotel nearby to stay.
Mhm.
And it was like full of like cockroaches and stuff. Like it was just
Oh
a
my
really
goodness.
bad time. That trip was like horrible. I feel like my perception of travel after that trip didn't really change. It's just that like we had that one bad experience that a lot of people talk about where it's like
Mhm.
your travel like trips won't always go the way you want them to.
Mhm.
So like that's like another like we just kind of had to be more careful after that. Like with the
Okay.
Airbnb choices and like all that stuff. So
Yeah, and first foremost, my condolences to you and your family for the loss of your grandmother. But yeah, that I'm sure that was traumatic, right? Just going through that whole experience, and really, it's something that's was pretty much out of your control. You can only control what you can control, and your mom did everything that she was supposed to do, right? That really then falls on the industry at that point, right? Where the Airbnb and the owner of that Airbnb to give you that experience that you came looking for. And so they failed at that, right? And so we talk a lot about that. I know you talked about it during the class with Chef Dre, where these moments you want them to be memorable. Like you want to be able to talk about it, but you like for years to come. And you can have so many memorable moments, but it will be that so many good memorable moments, but it'll be that one bad moment that'll pretty much ruin, you know, everybody's perception of travel. It could anyway. Right. So it just takes that one bad moment out of all the good that has happened, that one bad moment. So hopefully, you guys had a do-over maybe, and just you were able to
and we
maybe
did
do it
have a
again.
better time. But
Okay.
I think I just don't like Airbnbs anymore because the last time we went, kind of a similar thing happened, not with like
Oh,
the kids
geez.
this time, but
Yeah.
you know how DR is like really hot?
Uh-huh.
The room that we had, the AC kept breaking, so we had to like at one night I remember that we had to switch rooms and use a different room because the AC
Yeah.
wasn't working. So I just don't
Yeah.
like Airbnbs. Like I'm low-key kind of traumatized of the Airbnbs in DR, but like I guess my dad likes using them, so I don't
Yeah.
I can't really
And
complain about
I'm sure they're more affordable. I've actually never stayed in one. I'm a bit on the bougie side.
that.
So I've actually never stayed in an Airbnb for that very same reason, but I have stayed in some four-star hotels. And I heard Chef Dre talking about, some of the hotels, four-star hotels in Louisville, Kentucky, where we grew up, right? And one being the Sealbach. I heard him mention about the Sealbach. And then there's another one called the Goat House. I know Chef Dre knows this one very well. I stayed at the Goat House, one of my trips back to Louisville, Kentucky to visit family. And I had, oh my goodness, I went to go pull back the sheets and there was stuff all over the sheets. Just to, not to be too graphic. There was
Oh,
stuff all over the sheets. And I literally I was with a friend who had come to, she came to visit while I was in the hotel. Now I could have stayed at a family member's house or whatever, but I wanted to have my own privacy, whatever. Like I just wanted to have my, my space. And so and this is the Goat House, Chef Dre will tell you, is probably one of the most prominent hotels in Louisville, Kentucky. This is where everyone stays when they come down for the Derby, when they come, for whatever attractions, whatever is happening in Louisville, Kentucky at that time. The Goat House is pretty much lit up, with celebrities and all that. So that was that one bad moment, mind you. This is a 4 or 5 star hotel, and because of that one moment, I said I would never go back and stay there again.
oh
Now,
my
it
God.
it traumatized me because this is a hotel that is known for their great reputation, right? Their most prestige reputation, and here I am having maintenance come and clean up my bed before I sleep in it. And I do that everywhere. By the way, when you travel, make sure you bring cleaning supplies with you, wipes, anything that can fit in your bag that's travel size, or go to the store, Walmart, when you get to your destination, whatever store is there, make sure you pick up some cleaning supplies so that you can, sanitize that room. I don't care what they say. You go behind them and you sanitize your own room so that you have peace of mind for yourself. That's a sidebar one. So, but there's, note to self, and that won't cost you anything. But yeah, so yes, we're going to have those experiences, whether you're in an Airbnb or a 4 or 5 star hotel. It can happen, and it has happened, and it will continue to happen. Unfortunately, that's sort of just the nature of the beast, right? But thank you for sharing, Ashley. I appreciate that. Now close your eyes, and if you could imagine planning a trip anywhere, just sit back and relax for like 5 seconds. Anywhere in the world, where would it be? All right, now keep that in mind. Where would you begin? So in the next few slides, we're going to talk about what you should know from start to finish when it comes to travel. All right, let's go. All right, so decide where you want to go. Decide the length of your trip, right? Why is it important for you to decide where you want to go? Why is that the first thing you should do? Like, you can't travel if you don't know where you want to go, right? You can be that adventurous traveler that we talked about earlier, right? And just kind of close your eyes and point your finger to the map, and wherever your finger lands, you open it up and you see that place on the map. That's where you're going. That's the adventurous side of us, the traveling side, right? But you got to know, right? In reality, you got to know where you're going, because it's going to take a lot of planning, right? A lot of coordination. So that's the very first step that you want to take, is making sure that you plan ahead, right? So planning ahead means knowing where you want to go. Decide the length of your trip. Why is that important? How much money do you need to save? How much money do you plan on spending? How much, where do you plan on staying? You have to let the hotels or Airbnbs or resorts, you got to know how long you're staying. You got to let them know how long you're staying, right? And then you got to plan for that. If you have a job, your job needs to know how long you're staying. You can't go forever, right? You got to come back to work. So, you got kids. You can't leave your kids forever. And your kids can't miss school. So, right, those are the things you got to know. Are you traveling alone? When would you travel alone? Are you traveling with are you going to be accompanied by anybody? Research your costs. And again, please pay attention to these, because you're going to see this and you're going to need to know this. Research your costs. Find out how much it's going to cost to go where it is you want to go. We just close our eyes for 5 seconds and we imagine that trip. Find out how much it's going to cost to take you there. All right. Start saving. Save, save, save. That's step 5. Okay. Get a travel rewards card. What is a travel rewards card? That is a card that helps you build travel points, right? So a card that helps you build travel points, if you're a traveler like myself or Chef Dre or Miss C, we go to hotels and we can stay for free because we got points on our cards to be able to do so. So the more you travel and the more you use your card, pay it back, by the way, the more you use your card, the more points, depending on the type of card that you have from, whoever you're banking, but whoever you're banking with, they offer travel cards, travel reward cards. So make sure that you have the best one, the best bang for your buck, right? Switch to a no fee ATM. Stay focused and inspired. Don't get discouraged. I'm telling you, as you're traveling, as you're planning your trips, there are times where you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, because it's taken so long, because you got all these websites, right? Chef Dre talked about it, with the online marketing and the digital era where everything is at your fingertips now. But it's still hard, because now you got Expedia and you got Hotwire and you got what's another one? What is it? I don't know. You got all these websites, all these platforms that you can choose from, um, to help you travel. So you want to make sure that you get the best deal. You want to make sure you don't miss out on the best deal because you took too long to take the best deal, right? So there are a lot of things that you gotta be considerate of. And then check for, again, step 9, check for last minute deals, and book your flight. Or maybe you're going local, maybe you're going stateside, maybe you're going, maybe you're going to do sort of a domestic travel, where you're going from coast to coast. right? Yes, Priceline, Trivago, TripAdvisor, absolutely, Bookem.com, right? So make sure that you guys are, planning all this very thoughtfully. Book your accommodation. What does that mean? We talked about that, right, Ashley? Your Airbnb, your hotel, your resort. Plan your activities. We talked about that. What are the three types of travel? You got your business, you got your leisure, you have your adventure, right? What type of activities are you going to be doing? Tell your credit card company you're traveling. Why is that important? Because God forbid something happens to you, right? Why is it important to let your credit card company know that you're traveling? If something happens to your credit card, you get it's lost or stolen while in transit, while you're traveling. They can stop your credit card, or they can monitor it while you're away in the event that, let's just say, someone took your credit card number, and they started shopping. They went on a shopping spree. Now, your bank, Chase, for me, I know Chase, they'll flag if they notice that there are multiple sort of transactions that are pretty uncommon for me. They may block my card, and then they'll send me a notification and say, hey, is this you? If it's you, then we'll unblock your card. If it's not, then you need to reach out to us right away. So make sure you're telling your credit card company. Make sure you're packing. And we talked about this earlier, but very, very, very important. Make sure you're packing the right things, right? So when we went to Costa Rica, we had a whole packing list of everything we were going to need, from sunscreen to bug spray, lots and lots of bug spray, um, to all the in-betweens, right? Your rain gear and your boots and your sneakers and, all-terrain weather gear, whatever the case. Well, you got to know how to pack, and knowing how to pack is knowing where you're going, right? So the accommodations, and what way to pack. Buy travel insurance, right? Again, that is there to protect you. So spend the extra bit of money. Actually, when you have a travel rewards card, going back to that, most of the times the credit card companies will include the travel insurance for you, so you don't have to pay that additional fee. So that's good. So always make sure you're looking at credit cards that offer those benefits and those perks. And then enjoy the trip. All right. Always check the fine print. Make sure you know before you go. All right. Here are some flight terms and more. When you're getting on an airport, what is a layover? Or excuse me, when you're getting on a flight, right? Some of the things that you should know when you're flying, whether international or domestic, right? Some of the things you need to know when you're planning your trip. So what is a layover? Michaela, what is a layover?
A layover is when you stop at one or more airports before arriving at your final destination.
Absolutely. Joey, what is first class?
Like the exclusive, like the best you can fly.
Mm-hmm. The best you can fly. I like it. Summing it up. What is economy? Yin Yang. I gotta see your cameras, everybody. If Joey, it sounds like you're traveling, but I need to make sure everybody's on camera. All right. So Yin Yang, what is economy?
Like the cheapest part of the airplane. Like there's three-section: business, first class, and economy's the cheapest.
Yes, I like to say the most affordable, right? The best bang for your buck. Cheap just sounds so cheap, but most affordable, right? It's the most affordable way to fly. And then why is it helpful? We're going to talk a little bit about the airport codes, but why is it helpful to know airport codes? So you know where your flight is going, right? We're going to talk about that in the next few slides. Everybody good so far? Yes? All right, moving right along. All right, so this is testing your, this is a link. So you can take a screenshot. I'll send it in the group chat after this so you guys have it. Actually, sorry. I was supposed to copy and paste this beforehand. Let me, I'll copy and paste it when you guys go to your activity. I'll send it in the group chat while we're doing your breakout rooms. But this is going to be your best friend when it comes to traveling and flying. in the airports because it'll give you all the airport codes that you need to know when you're traveling. And why is it important to know what airport code? So you know where you're going. It wasn't a trick question, I promise. All right, and then these are some of the most popular airports or airport codes in the US. So Los Angeles, LAX. And remember this, JFK, John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York. There are actually two airports in Queens, not too far from each other. One is JFK, the other is LaGuardia. That is what the codes that you see highlighted, those are what we call your airport codes. Your airport codes, again, those are the codes that are basically identifiers, commonly known identifiers, and what you need when you're traveling. Those are the codes that you're going to see. Before you even see the actual name of the airport, you're going to see the airport codes. So it's very, very important that you understand these airport codes and you start training your brain to start looking for the airport codes and not necessarily the name of the airport. Okay, Newark International Airport, EWR, Dallas Fort Worth. Those of you in Dallas, Chef Dre, Orlando International, MCO, ATL, Atlanta. Okay, let's see what we got in the chat. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. So Missy just sent you guys the link that you're going to need. All right, so let's take a moment and plan a trip. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to ask, I'm gonna ask Miss C or Chef Dre. We're gonna break out. I don't know how many we have in this group. Let me see. How many do we have? Let's see. So 16 and there are 4 adults on the line right now. Right, myself, Missy, Chef Dre, and my handsome husband, Leon. So we have 12 students. All right, so we're gonna do, I want to say 2 groups of 6, but that might be too much. We're gonna do 3 groups of 4. All right, and for the next 10 minutes, I am going to ask that you plan a trip for me, for Miss C, for Chef Dre, and for my husband. We want to go somewhere. We want it to be affordable. We want to know where we're going. We need to know our where we're flying out of and what our destination is. It could be domestic. It could be international. Remember, you only have 10 minutes, so simple is best. Okay. I want to know what hotel. Okay, so for this activity, we're going to focus on just the basic things, right? Where am I going? How am I getting there? What is my budget? Okay. Where are we staying? All right. And I need one activity. Did you get that? So where am I going? How am I getting there? The how is basically how am I traveling? And I want it in an airport. I want to fly. So you're going to have to look up the airport codes using the link Miss C just sent. All right. Where am I staying? How much is it going to cost me? And one activity. Okay. We're going to keep it simple for now. It's going to be a bit more extensive when you get to your own individual projects. But as a group, I want 3 different locations. And then the 4 of us are going to deliberate and figure out which destination we are going to. So may the best destination win. You have 10 minutes from the time that you are put into your breakout rooms. Chef Dre, are you able, I don't know if you're able to, or Missy, are you able to put them in breakout rooms?
They should be seeing it.
Okay.
They are
So,
assigned. You guys
excellent.
see? There they go.
And, I was going to tell them, make sure they assign a group leader. That's not too much. Make sure you have a group leader. Ready? All right. So this is it. We taking it home stretch right here. Hopefully you guys got some good trips. Julian, I see the smile on your face. Hopefully you came up with something exciting. I meant to tell you guys before you broke out into your rooms. Miss C, hopefully she did. I know she went in to some of the rooms with you all to pick a group leader, right? So that you guys can chime in. But one person should sort of be leading the conversation, and then you all can chime in. And apologies if there was some I guess disconnect in communication on my end. So there were 3 groups, and each group was supposed to choose one location and kind of go from there, right? And answer the 5. So where, how much, the activity, and the hotel, right? So everybody, each group had your own individual destination as a group to select, to pick. Yes, Julian, did you have a question? Julian? Oh, it looks like we got disconnected really quickly. All right, so who's ready to go first? What group? And this class is going to go over a little bit. We did talk about this particular class because there's so much information that it might go over just a little bit, because we have one more fun activity to close us out, and it'll be right after we close out of this session. Okay, so who wants to go first as a group?
I think we're pretty much done and we're ready.
Okay, that's Nadia. And who's in your group, Nadia? And what's your group name? Did anybody come up with a cool, innovative name for your group?
No. So in my group, there was
I'm in
Helena,
her group. I'm in
Joy.
her group.
Who's that? That's Joey? Okay,
Yes.
Joey,
Nadia, Joey, and Krissa.
Helena, and Carissa. All right, let's go. Where we going? How we getting
We're
there?
going to Disney in Florida.
We're going to Disney in Florida. So, okay, so is it Nadia or Joey leading the charge on this one?
Nadia.
Okay, go
Two
ahead,
of
Nadia.
us. Okay, so we're leaving from ATL Airport to MCO Airport, which is in Orlando.
Okay.
And it's 20 minutes drive to the Summer Winter Water Blizzard Resort, which is Disney Resort. So that's about like $50 for Uber.
Okay.
Maybe less. Yeah. And then for the pass and tickets, it's $75 per person. Also, so it's gonna be $140. And then it's $128 per night. And we decided that you staying for 3 nights, so it's
Okay.
times 3, which is $384.
Mm-hmm.
Also for food, we had $300.
Okay.
For some accessories, maybe buying clothes, buying some, I don't know, some stuff from there, $200.
Okay.
And
No
flight,
souvenirs?
yeah, souvenirs.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
flight is $75 per each, so it's $140 for flight
Wow.
economy.
What airline we flying? $75 each.
Frontier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Frontier. Uh-oh. Make sure I bring my.
Make sure y'all factor in, the
But that's
$35
without
per
like
bag.
Yeah, right.
luggage. It's only carry.
Yeah. Okay.
carry.
All right. So, and I'm glad you're breaking it down like this, but I was just looking for a ballpark figure. But that's pretty awesome. So you could, that's great. Like, that's awesome. So we have, I'm sorry, were you done? I apologize.
Yeah, so in total it's gonna be $1,300.
Okay. So we're staying 3 nights.
When we looked it up though, the average is around $2,500.
So we did some discounting then, huh? We got some good deals then, huh?
Yeah, we went to the discount resorts and then we also paid for cheaper flights.
Okay. Nice. All
Yeah.
right. So great job. So we're going to Disney World. We're going to Florida. How much? We're going to spend about $1,300. Now, is that each for each of us? We spending $1,300, or is
No,
this
No,
that's
together.
combined.
combined? What? Oh, y'all gonna plan my trip
Fire.
next year? I love it. Okay, $1,300. All right. Summer winter resort. That's where we staying. We getting the Uber, so no rental car. All right, that's a good way to save. Maybe depending on how many times you need that Uber. Got souvenir. All right, so $1,300, and we're going from ATL to MCO. Any questions from our judges?
What's the activity? I don't think I heard it.
What's the activity?
We're going to Disney because Disney has like 4 parks.
Yeah,
So
Activity was
yes.
the like water resort. That's why we are staying there.
Okay. Okay. So it's built in.
Ah,
So the activity is built in. Okay.
nice.
Yeah, it
Okay.
said
Ah,
summer, winter, water, blizzard resort.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
the cheapest one, honestly.
Okay.
So yeah,
Listen, what do we use in place of cheap? What are we saying?
Cost friendly.
Cost friendly, cost
affordable.
effective, affordable. Use those words. Don't use cheap. Cheap just sounds cheap. All right. Good job, Nadia, Joey, Helena, and Carissa. Who's next? Who do we have next? What's the next group? Oh, come on, guys. Who's next?
I feel like I think we can go next.
Either one. It doesn't matter. You guys can just if your group wants to go next, just let me know.
Okay.
All right. So who's in your group, Ashley?
It was Michaela, I think Jira, and Angie.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't know if I said it
Okay.
wrong.
you did.
Nope, you said it right. Yep. Jayra
Mhm.
and Angie.
Mhm.
All right. So where we
So
going?
we were planning on going to San Luis, sorry, Lucas in Mexico.
Okay.
We didn't really get like the flights because we were looking and we couldn't find like any cheap ones, but the airline, hold on. It was New York Liberty International Airport, so EWR, to Los Cabos International Airport, SJD.
Okay.
Um, it would be the Mayan Monkey Hostel Tulum, $72 per night.
Oh,
And the activity would be this wild canyon adventure they have there. And it would be the ultimate pass, so it would include like uh bungee jumping, like horseback riding, camelback, um, round trip transportation, park entrance,
oh, okay.
a zip line tour, like bu bike tracks, bungee, a water park, and all that other stuff. They also say here that there's complimentary tequila tasting, and
Uh-oh.
all of that for $327 for like a package.
Just for the activity.
Yeah, just for the no, just for the
Okay.
package, and then it would bring everything.
The package, but when you say package, for the adventure
Yeah, the
package?
activity, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How much was it? Three what?
327.
327. Okay. All right. So we
And
got mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much all we got in that short amount of time. We couldn't
Okay.
find like the prices for the flights, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
she found some, but yeah.
No, that's cool, but you're getting in the mindset of,
Mhm.
figuring all of that out, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it sometimes you're gonna have to kind of be quick with it, right? Because you
Mhm.
want to make sure you're getting the best deals.
Uh-huh.
So they say the early bird catches the worm. So sometimes you got to be quick with it. Sometimes it's going to take you a little bit, right, before you can, yes, San Lucas Wild Canyon, um, before you find what you're looking for. So take your time, but also don't take too much time because I've had it where I've traveled to places, and I caught a deal, and maybe it was like $50 cheaper, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm just gonna wait to see if it goes down $50 more, and then the next day it went up $50. So I literally missed out on the deal because I was being, cheap. Now we can use that word cheap in that context. All right. So
Okay.
just be mindful of that when you guys are traveling. But I love it. We're going to Mexico, guys. Neon, Chef Dre, Mr. L, Miss C. We're going to Mexico. We're going from here, right in my back door, EWR, to SJD, to Mayan Monkey Hotel, $72 per night. That's a pretty good steal. And then the package is going to be $327. Now we, barring the air the flights, right? Let's do a guesstimate. What do you think per person? It'll cost about how much round trip? And that's another thing you got to know. Are you flying round trip? Are we flying one way? Right? What's the difference between the two? Round trip means you're getting a flight there and you're coming back on that itinerary, right? Whereas one way you can buy a trip there and you can wait to get there before you buy a trip back. I've traveled that way this summer where I just bought a trip there because it was a lot cheaper to just buy the one-way ticket. And then when I got to my destination, then I bought my ticket to come back. So it actually ended up being like hundreds of dollars cheaper because I bought a one-way ticket. So those are other ways that you could sort of help to save money, right? So just knowing that. All right. And for the second time, I just want to, great job. I'm going to move on to group 3. I'm going to just, process of elimination. That is Julian, right? Karen, Ying Ying, and Janelle. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Look at me. Okay. So what do we got? Where are we going?
Okay. Okay. So first, we're gonna go from DFW to LIN, which is Milan. Lenin. Where is it?
What did you say?
Milan.
What was the first? What was the departure?
Okay. DFW to LIN, which is Milan Lin 8 Airport.
LIN. Okay. We're going to Milan?
Yes.
What? Okay.
Okay, so round trip per person is 596. And for 2 people, that'll be $1,192. And then a hotel called, I don't know how to say this, but it goes OSTELLO, Bello Grande. It's $94 per night, and you would leave departure at October 31st, and then arrive on November 1st. It's an 18-hour flight from 12:20 a.m. to 12:20 p.m. to 12:20 p.m. again. Then you arrive on November 1st. It's $94 per night. And then you would take the train from the airport to the hotel, which is a 5-minute walk from the hotel. And then okay. And then for 4 nights, because you're leaving on November 6th. So yeah. And you arrive there on November 1st, basically. So 5 nights, sorry. 5 nights. And that would be $470 for 5 nights. Then after that, there's not really that much.
$470 per night or for all 5 nights?
No, $470 for all 5 nights.
In Milan?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
It's
go.
not bad.
Okay.
And then after that, you would take the train down to downtown or to like
Yep.
all the major attractions.
Just give me one
And
activity, just for the sake of time.
sorry, what?
I said, just give me one activity for the sake of time. Where we going?
Oh, okay. Like the Opera House, it's $14 per person. It's just there's many variety of different things to do.
Okay. You said the Opera House?
Yeah, opera.
Oh, we going to the opera. Okay, in Milan.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, so let me do a recap. Great job. Thank you, Julian.
Wait,
Thank
wait,
you.
and for food,
Oh,
it's
we got more. Okay.
yeah. Well, you gotta still think about food.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then for food, it's about 400 or
Okay.
500 per person. I mean, for both people, sorry, for both people, $450
Okay.
for two people. And then okay, for 650, like if you want to like buy stuff or anything for yourself or the other person wants to buy themselves too, it would round up,
Hmm.
everything would round up to $2,668.
So that's the total for the whole trip. 2000.
$668.
Okay, and that's per person.
No, for everybody, like two people combined.
Total. Okay. All right. Oh, so we got some deliberating to do in like 2 seconds. All right, so let me just do a recap real quick. And I saw Janelle. I see your message. Once again, yeah, no, it was just supposed to be. You got the three groups. You're all three of you guys are responsible for selecting one location, and then you guys work together to figure out those five questions. Okay. So Nadia, Joey, Helena, Carissa, we're going, excuse me, to Disney World and the summer winter resort. We're spending roughly about $1,300 for 3 nights. With Ashley, Michaela, Jara, and Angie, we're going to San Lucas, Mexico. Hey. Flying EWR to SJD. Sorry for not for the first group. That's ATL to MCO. And then we're going to the Mayan Monkey Hotel. We're spending $72 per night. So that's roughly about a little bit over $200 for the hotel stay for the 3 nights. And then we're going the Wild Canyon Adventure Ultimate Pass for $327. And then last but certainly not least, DFW to LIN. We are headed to Milan. Well, if that's what we decide. We're staying at you said Ostello Bello? Is that did I get that right?
It's okay. The
You said,
Hostel, yeah, the Hostel Bella Grande.
okay, yes, Ostello, Ostella Bella Grande, $94 per night, $470. We're departing on October the 31st, taking us 12 hours to get there. We
18
arrive
hours.
18 hours. Ooh, 18 hours to get there, arriving on 11/1, and then departing on 11/6. We're going to the Opera House, everyone. Get ready. Bring your binoculars. I think that's where you go to Opera House. You bring your binoculars. I don't know. And then your food is going to cost about $400 for a grand total of $26.68. I hope that was a good summation of the 3 locations we are traveling. All right. So, what do you think? We could put in the chat. Um, I've never been to Milan. I've been to Mexico, and I've also been to Disney World. Uh, so for me, I would say I would go to Milan because I've never been, and because it's pretty, it's pretty affordable if it's 2668 divided by 4. Remember, it's 4 of us traveling. That's me though, because the
I
other
think
travelers
it's
may want to go
two.
somewhere else. No, right, but
Rosie, I think the 2,300 is for two people.
20. Okay, so 26 was just accounting for the 2 of the travelers. Okay,
Correct.
so yeah,
I
so
thought it
we
was
okay,
like
so we
over
do
6,000 total for the whole package for everything, wasn't it?
gotcha.
$6,668 for everything to go to Mulan?
He said 2668.
Yeah, 2668 for two
Oh, okay.
Okay,
people, total everything.
gotcha. All right. So that's me. That's where I want to go. I never been to Milan only because I've never been. So I'm just that on the strength of that alone. Chef Dre, Mr. L, Miss C, what do you think? And you guys can pick your own location. I've picked mine.
I would like to go to St. Lucas in Mexico. It's the most affordable, $327 per adventure, and $72 a night. If I do my calculations and carry the one, I'm definitely saving a lot of money.
Yes, he didn't calculate in the flight, but okay, we're gonna carry the one with my husband. Okay, so Mr. Al said he's going to St. Lucas. All right, we got a few more minutes. Miss C, Chef Dre, where you going?
Yeah, I'm going to Milan.
Going to Milan. All right.
Yep. I've been to the other two places. I haven't been to Milan.
Oh, okay.
Just that alone. Just that
All
alone.
right. So we, oh, what is it? 0 for 2, 2 for 0? I don't know how that goes, but all
I
right. And
I like
Miss C?
Mulan, but I like a lot of adventure and doing things, so it'd probably be more St. Lucas. But I like the affordability of Disney World, but for me, adventure more would be St. Lucas.
All right. So we got 2 Milans, 2
We
St.
got a
Lucas.
tie.
Yeah, we do. 2 Milans, 2 St. Lucas. All right, everybody. So that was awesome. That is just kind of giving you a snippet or a little snapshot of what you have to look forward to when you go into the world of travel and tourism, right? What it is that you are going to be expected to do when you want to travel, leisure, business, or adventure, right? These are some of the things that you're going to have to know. And so I'm glad that you all, participated. I'm glad. I hope that you learned something from it. Um, I see Janelle also put in because she wanted to include. I guess the assumption was that everybody was doing their own thing. So she had actually put something together herself. So she went from DFW to PHL. So that's Dallas Fort Worth to Philadelphia Airport. There's a wedding in Pennsylvania, and so she's giving us the whole breakdown. And the budget is $800. Food included, hotel included at the Embassy Suites. Love it. So that's $800. So that's another destination that has been put out there. So how did you guys feel about that? How did you feel about that process? What'd you think?
Planning. I also planned my trip to the trip with family to Florida. Yeah, and we had
Uh-huh.
fun.
Very nice. Very nice. Michaela, what'd you think?
I'd say it was very fun to do. It was kind of difficult to look for cheap, but also not like affordable, but fulfilling activities to do. And
Mm-hmm.
also the flights were really hard to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll have time. Like in an ideal world, you'll have plenty of time to, sort of sort out those details. So this is kind of putting you in that pressure, putting those pressure on you, but you'll have time, plenty of time to get through that. Julian, what'd you think as the group lead? How'd you feel about that?
I like budgeting and the planning,
Hmm.
and it was just nice to research about it
Okay,
because I've been wanting
awesome.
to go to Milan too, honestly.
Yes, let's go. All right, everybody. So we do have a couple more slides to get through really quickly, just to wrap this up. And hopefully this was, a good experience. Oh, can you guys see my screen? I think I might.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not able to see my screen. I don't know why. Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm not able to see my screen, but I'm going to stop sharing and try that again. All right. Now I can see it. Okay. So, hopefully you guys had a good time with this process. And this is just the final thoughts, right? Critical thinking and problem solving. We talked a little bit about problem solving earlier. But these are, when it comes to real world travel scenarios, these are some things that you want to make sure you're paying attention to. When it comes to planning your trip, handling travel disruptions, right? Navigating unfamiliar environments, right? So what happens when your flight gets canceled? What happens when your hotel, there's an interruption with your hotel because your air conditioning is not working, right? So some of the things that you have to sort of kind of figure out as you travel. Go to that. 1 second. Um, Navigating unfamiliar environments, right? So going places you've never been. I've never been to Milan, right? So as an, active military member, there are certain things that I'm trained to sort of look out for and pay attention to, especially when you're in international, territory. Language barriers, being very mindful of that, downloading apps that help you. Google has a great translator app that you can download, right? Julian said it, budget management. He likes doing the budgeting, right? You got to make sure that you are budgeting your money, and ensuring safety and security and cultural understanding. Know before you go, know where you're going, understand the things about the country that make this country so rich, right? That you could learn, and you could also embrace when you get there, right? So you don't look like a tourist, right? The worst thing you could ever do is look like a tourist when you go to these countries, because then you become a target. And so you want to make sure that you're ensuring your safety, and also understanding cultural differences. That is very, very important when it comes to traveling, and being very culturally sensitive to different places that you go. Any questions? So this is our statement, proprietary statement. And thank you. Like that is the presentation. I do have a little game that I wanted to close out with, or activity that I would like to close out with, if we have just a couple minutes. I know, I always say this class is always goes over by about a half hour. But this will take place of the Mentimeter for tonight. And I'm going to ask that you humor me by participating. And we're not going to go through the entire one, but we are going to spend a little bit of time, as soon as I can find it, on this closeout activity that I absolutely love. And it's called S.O.A.R Jeopardy. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? All right. Who's ever played Jeopardy, or watched rather Jeopardy? Maybe you've played it in school. Anybody have ever watched Jeopardy? So you kind of know the nature of the game, right? So there are 5 categories here. Okay. We're going to get a little bit of friendly competition going here. We have 5 categories: travel and tourism basics, and this is kind of to test your knowledge. What have you learned? And how much have you retained during this class? Again, we'll go to just a few minutes, but I want to make sure that you guys have grasped the information. So every dollar amount is sort of a higher level question, and you can pick any category you'd like. So let's just say, for example, I pick Janelle, or I ask Jaira to go. Jaira's going to say, okay, I'd like travel and tourism for 300, please. We're going to click on travel and tourism for 300, and there's going to be a question. Janelle has to answer that question in the form of a question. So I'll say, I'll give you the description, and then you're going to say what is, and you'll give me the response, your answer, to the best of your ability. Okay. Does everybody get that? Any questions? We ready? All right. So Julian, let's kick it off with you.
Okay. Trip planning steps 300.
Trip planning steps for 300. 300. Let's go to 300. All right. What should you tell your bank or credit card company before traveling?
That you're gonna go travel. So you notify them so they don't close your bank account, your card.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Oops, sorry. So that you're going out of town. So good job. There you go. All right. Great job, Julian. Here we go. All right. Who's next? Jaira. Jaira, are you there? All right. Nadia.
Okay, let's do trip planning steps 400.
Oh, going for the gusto. Trip planning steps for 400. What can protect you if your trip gets canceled or your luggage is lost?
The insurance, trip insurance.
Good job. What is travel insurance? Great job, Nadia. All right, Janelle. Or Angie, I know that Janelle is not feeling well. Angie.
I'll do travel and tourism's basics 200.
All right, travel and tourism basics for 200. Name components of the travel and tourism industry. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the class.
Wait, what do you mean like components? Sorry.
So we talked about some of the components of travel and tourism in the industry in the very beginning of the class, right? We talked about some of the like areas and different parts of travel and tourism that make up the industry.
I took some notes on this. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. And you can call a lifeline. I like doing lifelines, by the way. So you can ask for a lifeline and anybody can jump in and help her out.
We talked about the TAT. Oh, wait, the component. Oh, transportation, accommodation, travel agencies, tour operators, attractions and activities, travel technology, travel insurance, travel media, and publication.
Oh, look at you. Hotels, transportation. Yes. So you called out quite a few of them, but these are just some of them. What are hotels, transportation, restaurants, and attractions? Great job, Angie. All right, Helena. Helena?
Yeah, you said my name. Sorry.
Yes.
Can I do real world travel situations for 500?
Yes, here we go. 500. What does it mean to look at the impact of tourism?
What does it mean to look at the impact of tourism?
Mm-hmm.
It means like analyzing the like effects that it has on like the, let's say, the place that your people are traveling to, like its environment, like the people and like the economy of it as well, positive or negative.
Good job. Good job. To see how it helps or hurts the place. Absolutely. For $500. Let's go. Good job, Helena. All right, Karen. I'm going to make sure everybody goes at least one round. Karen, are you there? If not, we're going to move along. Joey.
Trip planning steps 100.
Trip planning steps for 100. Here we go. What's the first thing you should decide when planning a trip?
Your budget or like where you're going.
Which one is it?
Your budget.
Is that your final answer? Anybody want to help
Yes.
Joey out? That's Joey's final answer. Before we click on this, is Joey correct? Is that the first thing you should decide when planning your trip?
Where you're going.
Are you sure? Final answer?
No.
All right, let's see. Where you want to go. Good job. Don't second guess yourself. You had it the first time and then you changed it and then you went back and you changed it again. Then you say you didn't know. Good job. Stick with it. Okay. You want to know where you're going. Like that's a no-brainer, right? You can't have a budget if you don't even know where you're going. All right. Who didn't go? Who did not go? Carissa. Oh, sorry. Here we go. This would help.
Real world travel situation 300.
Real world travel situation for 300. A hotel guest is upset. What should a good employee do?
Call the manager.
Okay.
Assistance.
Call the manager for assistance. Okay. What else? So does anybody want to help Carissa out? Helena.
They should try to find the issue and then remedy it.
Okay. Great. I love it. All right. So stay calm, apologize, and offer help. Absolutely. So you both said it right? You want to remedy it, Go get a manager. You may be above your pay grade, so you may need to have a manager to help support you in that. All right. So good job, great job, Ying Ying.
Customer service skills 200.
Customer service skills 200. What does it mean to listen actively to a customer?
Listen actively. It's to understand what the customer needs or want and think about your answer and solution.
Great job. Paying attention and showing you care and understand. Great job. Did anyone not go? For those of you who are not on mute and can actually speak. Ashley. All right. Ashley. Wait a second. Okay.
Can I try? Oh, I'm scared. Customer service skills 400.
Customer service skills 400. Name some qualities of great customer service.
What is
Uh-oh. She's tapping.
what is uh patience, hospitality?
Okay. Patience. Okay. Anybody else want to help her out? So let's see what the survey says. Being friendly, helpful, and professional. Remember, we talked about that earlier. Some of the qualities, right? Why is it important to be friendly? Why is it important to be helpful? Why is it important to be professional? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our time. And while I would love to sit here and talk about this because I could forever, I have borrowed much of your time, and so I want to give back some of it in the sense that we are done. Thank you guys so much for participating tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this class. I hope that you walk away with, some more confidence, a little, more confidence in your abilities to effectively plan out a trip and, just to understand the travel and tourism as a whole and the industry and the impact of travel and tourism. Are there any questions for me? I don't know if Missy put the thing in the chat already. Do apologize.
She had to drop off and driving, so I'll give them the chat on Thursday.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you for sending us on trips. I'm very excited about that. We appreciate the time, your effort, and your energy tonight. On that note, have a great night.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.